Hey guys, Kevin Jackson here with House of Freedom. For those of you who don't know, House of Freedom is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to ending homelessness and the homelessness of veterans. Hey guys, today is 1 to 1 Million Monday. What is that, you may ask? 1 to 1 Million Monday is where we come on and we encourage you guys to not just give, but invest in your homeless communities in your area. Places like House of Freedom and other places in your local area. We want you guys to get invested. Hey, before we go any further, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And today we're just going to get into it. So we are in Oklahoma, and it is currently 2 degrees outside, and there's tons of snow on the ground. And so my video is coming to you guys a little bit late, but it's just because of the things that were happening outside and what we still needed to get done because of those things that are happening outside. Guys, with it being this cold, people are literally freezing to death. I don't know how else to say it gently, but people are literally dying and freezing to death because of how cold it is outside. Um, a lot of the people who are in these situations is not always by choice. They didn't choose to be homeless. They just couldn't find their way out of it. And so House of Freedom wants to be a solution to that end of homelessness. For those people who want to get out of homelessness, there's programs like House of Freedom. I haven't actually seen a program that is exactly like House of Freedom. House of Freedom was really just developed from me studying the gaps of our homeless system, for lack of a better words. But we want to do more, guys. It's too cold for. I'm gonna be honest. I see people, including ourselves, giving out gloves and hot hands, uh, hats, sleeping bags, which is great. That's amazing. But when the snow melts, they're still homeless. That's where House of Freedom is coming in at. We want to do something different in our society because we've just basically said, hey, we're going to enable homeless people to stay in their homeless state instead of developing programs to build them up and help them be reincorporated back into society with no means to be homeless again. There's not any program out there that's doing it like House of Freedom is. So um, I love the heart in giving hats and gloves and sleeping bags and blankets, socks and shoes and clothes, and even giving people a couple $100. That's great. But after that money runs out, are they still homeless? Let's do this differently, guys. People are freezing because we are enabling homelessness in our communities. We're saying, "Oh, we can give them sleeping bags and it's okay." Now, don't get me wrong. I've done it. I still do it. We still do it as an organization. But our goal is to end the cycle of homelessness, and it's by not enabling homelessness anymore. We won't sit back and say it is enough to just do feeding people. It is enough to just give clothes. It's enough to just give people a couple of $100. It is enough to just do these things. We cannot say it anymore. We cannot be this content anymore. We cannot be this lackadaisical with our community. We want things to be done, but what are we doing to get those things done? You want to see a change in your neighborhoods and you want to see a change in your communities, but I ask you today, what are you doing today that makes a change in the direction that you want to go? And let's get outside of um, it just being we're going to be okay with giving out food every now and again, and we're going to be okay with giving out blankets when it's cold and umbrellas when it's raining. Let's get away from that. How do you promote real, actual positive change in the direction of ending homelessness? And I'm gonna be honest, as much as I love the heart that we have for giving those things, it is not in the direction of giving those things. It's not in the direction of giving money or putting someone in a hotel for 2 or 3 days. Because what happens next? Guys, we can't control the weather. We can't control how cold it is outside or how much it snows or when it rains or how hot it gets. We can't control any of those things. One of the things that we focus on in House of Freedom that we train people in is control the controllables. The weather is out of our control. We can, however, control how we respond in those moments. Is this enough? Giving you sunscreen, giving you a bottle of water, is it enough? Can I do more? Have you asked yourself that question? Can I do more? Because frankly, people are dying. And House of Freedom is hurt because we are not at a place where we can open up our doors and let people in. And frankly, it's colder inside than it is out right now at House of Freedom. But we're doing something about it. We can't control the weather, but what we can control is what we're focusing on. What we can control is what we're doing. We can't control how people got to the situation of them being homeless. We can control their experience while they're homeless and their journey out of homelessness. And that's what House of Freedom is about. We don't want to be someone that just, for lack of a better term, does the minimum. House of Freedom encourages you to do more. What else can you do? It's 1 to 1 million Monday. We want 1 million of you to give $1. How do we make that happen? Share. Like. The more people that see this, the more people that get a hold of this, the more people that can not only just give, but invest in the lives of these homeless men and women. A couple of weeks ago, I took you guys on a journey of me giving out pizza. And as great as that was, I wish I could have just took you guys through our hallway and sat down in the cafeteria and showed you how we eat with our people. I wish that I could have walked you through our facility and showed you some of the projects that our guys would be working on. In moments like this is where House of Freedom is needed, because it's not just about getting people out of the cold, but it's about getting those people to a place where they can get someone else out of the cold. That's the core of who we are at House of Freedom. It's 1 to 1 million Monday. We made it super easy for you guys to give. We have Cash App. We have Bing. We have a bunch of ways to give. So guys, PayPal, Venmo, online giving, mail-in giving, however text to give, however you feel comfortable giving, give. We're asking 1 million of you to give $1. So that the next time it gets too hot or it gets too cold, we can take you through and show you what our guys are doing and how we're changing the culture of homelessness, hopefully for the long run, not just in our community, but in yours as well. So we thank you. We love you. Like, share, subscribe. And remember, every dollar counts.